So Aaron, innovation plots this year, we had some surprisingly fantastic results, especially at our Polk plot. Talk about that just a little bit.
We did. At our Polk plot this year, we were able to top 318 bushel across the entire location.
That's very impressive. I'm Tim Mundorf, Director of Soil Management here at Central Valley Ag, and today I'm working with Aaron Sindelar, our Sustainability Lead. And we're here to talk about our innovation sites and the different products we trial, and especially that 318 bushel corn. Aaron, what do you put into for thought when you're trying to raise really high yield corn?
Yeah, when we hit that number this year, it wasn't just because we threw a bunch of products out there and that's what we hit. You know, this was really something that's been in the works for several years, going back to other people that have been working on the site that really identified that if we're going to be able to ring that bell, we got to start building the fertility that day. So it's been several years of building that fertility up. We were able to get it really high and produce some really good corn, and then it was just testing a lot of different types of products and finding out which combinations were the ones that are really going to take us over the top.
Absolutely. We've had that site for about 3 years now. When we first picked it up, had fairly low fertility. Phosphorus values were around the teens in that P1 Bray test. Like you said, it's a systems approach. Mm-hmm. We slowly build it over time. We use some of our flagship products, Micro Essentials SZ. We put a lot of Micro Essentials SZ in there to build up the phosphorus levels. Our Begin in-furrow product, we use that regularly, and frankly, just hit a good year where everything kind of worked together for us, a good nitrogen program. Talk a little bit about that. We're split applying this nitrogen.
So that program is called Adapt-N, and what that program does was accounts for what we had already put on, and it kind of understands what the weather was as well as kind of predicts what it's going to be, and that tells us how much that crop is going to need for nitrogen to fill out the rest of the season. And with that program, it told us to put on about 160 pounds of nitrogen onto that field in season, and with 230 pounds on that field, we were able to raise that 318 bushels of corn. You do the math on that, and that gave us a nitrogen use efficiency of 0.72, which is just outstanding, and I couldn't have been happier with.
Right. We see some pressure from outside people. Maybe it's a drainage district, maybe it's a natural resource districts, asking our growers to split apply nitrogen and to not apply as much up front, and that really worked for us this year. 70 pounds up front, 160 pounds, again, advised by a model with a 300 bushel yield goal, and that split application worked really well for us. Now, a lot of times these drainage districts or NRDs will say, we don't want you apply more than, say, 80 or 90 pounds at a time. Well, we could have split that 160 into 2 applications, maybe done one there as that side dress at V8, but run the other one, say, through the pivot. Now, we protected both applications as well, right? So what were we doing there?
Correct. So in that scenario, we're using, basically in all of our nitrogen applications, we had a stabilizer included in there. And the important thing to know with stabilizers is that it doesn't matter if you're a liquid or a dry or anhydrous ammonia type of a program. There's options for whatever source you're using. So, between the combination of that model plus using that stabilizer, we were really able to deliver to that crop throughout the year.
Yeah. And then these innovation plots, we're really happy we hit 318 bushel corn, and that same plot hit 81 bushel soybeans. Our innovation plots across our company do a good job of highlighting a lot of things, but our goal is not to raise high bushel crops necessarily. We're really looking at trying different products. What kind of different products did we have out there this year?
Yep, so we're testing, several different areas. We're obviously doing the dry fertility testing, looking at a lot of different products there. We're looking at in-furrow products as well as foliar applications. And then there's also kind of year to year, depending on, we'll test some other stuff. We might do some seed treatment type of testing. We might do some planting diagnostics type of operation showing, okay, what happens to yield when you have doubles or skips or something like that. So kind of depending on what we really want to understand is kind of determines what we really look at. I'll tell you what we've really been looking at a lot this year was these new microbial type of products. There's a lot of products that are out there that are saying they can improve nutrient availability or maybe later season nitrogen or help with nutrient uptake. And we're trying to understand, do these products do what they truly do? And that's what we're trying to achieve with these innovation sites, is that understand, do these products deliver? And even though we have 318 bushel site, we also have sites that do 160, 170 bushel that are dryland sites. So we've got everything from that type of an environment all the way up to that real high yield situation, and we can tell, do those products work or not work in those individual environments?
Yeah, we've joked around over the years about these products and calling them snake oils, But really, that's our job, right? Is we take those products that people say, well, does this really work? Well, let's go see. And we put it on a lot of different plots that are mimic a lot of our different growers' ground that they have to work with, and we see how it does. And we do it for multiple years. So it's not just, you know, a wet year, a dry year. We're going to try to get some of each in there and see, can we get consistent response for these products?
Absolutely. Local data is critical. You know, how many farmers do you talk to? They want to know, how does it work on my farm? Well, this is kind of that first step that we can show them this type of data before we actually put it on their farm, that this is a local data. This is, you know, this is somebody at CVA, you work with CVA on a daily basis. Somebody at CVA is doing this work to try to figure out how these products perform, and kind of look at that and kind of make decisions. Okay, now I can take this product, test it on my farm, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. And we don't hide this data. I mean, we
Correct.
show the good with the bad.
Correct.
And I always tell people, we don't sugarcoat it. You look at that data, you will see plots where none of the products worked. And you'll
Absolutely.
see plots where they worked really well. And then we'll average it out across all the different locations and all the different replicated plots, and we'll give you the final numbers. And then we'll bring in numbers from previous years too, and
Absolutely.
give you combined 2-year data. You run the statistics on it, so we make sure what we're seeing is truly a significant change and not just a little variation within the plot as well.
Correct.
Yep. So Aaron, every year we put together a book of this information that our growers can get a hold of. So how do they get that information?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways they can get to it. So number one, they could either go to the website, cvacoop.com, and we'll list it on that as a flipping book. So you don't have to download it or anything like that. It's there just to be able to flip through. Or go talk to your field sales agronomist or location manager, whoever you deal with at CVA for buying your inputs. And I really emphasize doing that part because it's not only just about the data, it's having the data as well as kind of that consultation or that other person to kind of talk through, how does this fit my specific operation? But that's the best way to find the information, is those 2 ways.
Absolutely. Thanks again for watching our Agronomy Focus video. I'm Tim Mundorf, Director of Soil Management. With me today, Aaron Sindelar, Sustainability Lead. Thanks for watching.